Oh, Queen Supreme Court. Hey, Queen Supreme Court. Queen Supreme Court. Oh, did y'all see that? Did y'all see the Funky Dineva show today? Funky Dineva Ross. Lord have mercy. I've been up all day watching this fool. All the stuff that Trump done. It's hard to keep up with him, you know. I said, well, maybe I can pull a story out of there some kind of way. There's so much. Oh, man, this dude, he has really revealed himself at this point. Talking about Trump, but we'll get back to that in a different video. Excuse me. I'm talking about the Queen Supreme Court. Hey, Queen Supreme Court. Oh, Queen Supreme. T.S. Madison, would you please put a set of breasts on this Funky Dineva so she can pop those breasts for me? I would love to see that. I would love to see that girl. You know, they get the thing you put the head on and the titties are attached to it. A lot of the girls that do shows do them. And they're titties. They got cleavage and everything. And she can bounce them. I like to see her bounce them titties. Hey. Ow. When I saw that girl sitting up in the marvelous Chateau. All right, so I guess I knew that they knew each other, T.S. Madison and Funky Dineva. But I was under the impression that Funky Dineva had left town, lived in Florida somewhere. So when the Kaya thing first broke, remember how we all cashed in on the Kaya story? Kaya, T.S. Madison, Queen's Court, everybody was reviewing it, everybody was talking about it, everybody was trying to see what's going to happen next. Funky Dineva was going off on the Kaya. Kaya was going off on Funky Dineva. Oh, it was a mess. It was delicious. It was delicious for blogosphere or vlogosphere. Anyway, so when Kaya, they had their successful show, first left, when she had that thing with Monique, messed the show up, tore everything up. Just anyway, when she left, we were all trying to figure out who could take her place, because like her or hate her, she had a lot of personality, right? Kaya. So one of the first names, as I recall, first names floated was Funky Dineva. Everyone said, well, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be a show? But Funky Dineva had moved out of state, right? So it wasn't likely to happen. And T.S. Madison started having all these different children at the house, and I think it was getting better. To get more comfortable in that environment. The guy, what was the guy last? Lonnie, I think his name was Lonnie B or something like that. It was kind of good. It's kind of funny. I enjoyed it. So then today when I seen this girl sitting up in the marvelous Chateau, I said, oh, now this is going to be a show, honey. So I want to let all the people watch me, though I'm pretty sure that Funky Dineva got 200,000 followers. But I think, and I probably got 8. So, but I'm pretty sure anybody that watches me probably watches her the same as well. It's kind of, yeah, overlap there. So you probably already know. But she made her appearance at the Marvelous Chateau today. I thought that was very good promotion. Because now I'm sure we all going to tune in to see how this mixture works. Funky Dineva and T.S. Madison will be together tonight on the Queen's Court. I can hardly wait. I said I would love to see them together. I said it from the beginning. I would love to see them together. And Funky Dineva was one of the first ones who kind of let us know what was coming down about the trying people out and different co-hosts and things like that. We knew about that before it happened because of Dineva, right? So I'm just wondering, you know, both of these girls have got large personalities, bigger than life personalities, but it's got a mesh, see? When T.S. Madison and Kaya, their personalities were totally different. T.S. kind of played the straight man to Kaya's foolishness. She was like the primary thing, but they worked together. They bounced off each other, right? They made it work. They were funny together. They were Laurel and Hardy, okay? That's not an insult. I'm just saying the team worked. So my curiosity is now, can we take a fucking Dineva Ross and a T.S. Madison tuna fish with a fucking Dineva Ross, which is camp drag? Can they mesh? Can they make it work together? I'm very curious. So I hope everybody watches that. I can't wait. Even with this child Trump all over the news all day. I gotta try to hold all that in. I'm trying to take in enough of it so I can speak intelligently, form an opinion. Although the opinion seems to be the same pretty much across the world. Why in the fuck was he there? But when I saw this, I said, oh, now that's something that excites me. Okay, so today she was on doing Pose review from the Marvelous Chateau. Of course, first thing we notice is we all are familiar with the Marvelous Chateau. It's a beautiful house. It's very distinct. The decor is very distinct. We know exactly where she was. The dining room of T.S. Madison's Marvelous Chateau. Right? And today she was talking about Pose. Now, I had no idea that Pose is going to be over. But I'm still under the impression that it just started. But episode 8 will be the last one next week. And last night I watched it, and it was so interesting to me. I said, damn, I blew it. I should have did this show. I should have taken time and reviewed the episodes of this show. Because last night, I was curious about all of the storylines, because they were bringing all the storylines to a head kind of thing, right? So I want to congratulate all the people in Pose, including the writers, directors, and all the people who work on this show for a second season. I was under the impression that show was a miniseries, you know, like the assassination of Gianni Versace. These miniseries, they've had several different kind of miniseries, and then that was it. They would just play one season, and that would be it. But no, this show has been picked up for a second season, which means if it's picked up for a second season, it can make all these girls rich. If it's better on the second season, they have an audience, which is what I suspected. If they can get through that first one and actually get a second season, it could become a regular part of their regular programming. So, congratulations, Pose. That show last night was excellent. I felt for that kid that, you know, I used to be a drug dealer myself, so I know everybody hates the drug dealers. You ain't got to say it. I know everybody hates the drug dealers. You blame the drug dealers. Don't blame people who do it. Anyway. Blanca was faced with the situation. I'll talk about it for a little bit. Blanca was faced with the situation about this boy. She suspected Poppy of selling drugs. He bold-faced lied in her face. Now, this is street people, street kids, rejects of society. It's not surprising to me that he would have some kind of hustle. And God bless him. If all he was doing is selling weed, I mean, here, weed is legal. That's so big a deal, but I can see Miss Blanca didn't want nobody bringing drugs into the house. Although I suspect these girls don't do their own thing in their own private time. But she's got young people. She's there. She's trying to school them. That boy, the dancer, what's his name? I don't remember the names, but the dancer, I think he's 17 years old. So she don't want to influence them incorrectly. If I were her, I would have just said, "Don't, Poppy, do not bring nothing in this house." But I still would have took that money, because apparently he's the only one who had any income. I don't imagine these balls pay any money. I mean, I think Blanca does nails. But as far as that, all the other money comes in the house is illegal money. It's either prostitution or what he was doing. So he said, "You never asked any questions about that. You told me you had a job." And such, no, whatever. So I know when I was in drug program, if you knew somebody was using it in the house, if you knew, if they could prove that you knew that somebody was using it in the house or somebody was going out and getting high, and you had information of it, they would call this big meeting in this room, and they would expel the person who was getting high, who was using drugs while in the house, or going on their passes, coming back after using, and they would expel every person who knew about it. They called it support. They have to support you. So there was a principle in drug program. If you knew somebody was getting high, you had to tell because you had to support them. They called it support, but it was we would call it snitching. Thank God I never got put in that position because I was from the streets and I just couldn't do it. So I probably ended up thrown out. Anyway, so Blanca puts these boys on Front Street, these people on Front Street. She said, whoever knows, if you knew, tell me. Now the first two denied it. And as far as I can see, there was no repercussions for them denying it. So they're not quite a drug program. But this boy, Ricky, who knew he was barely in the house. He was in the house because of the dancer, right? She was resistant to even having him in the house. He doesn't dance or anything like that. He won a ball, but, I mean, him and Poppy, you know, they may walk once or twice a year. There's only so many categories they could fit into. Anyway, she put a little pressure on this boy, and he sang like a canary. I mean, he told every detail. He got this boy thrown out of the house. Now, if she's your mother, let's say if my mother found out I was selling drugs, she would not be happy about it. But I doubt my mother would throw me into the street. So I don't agree with Blanca there. She could have got it out of that boy or did her own investigation, which she eventually did do. She went out there and found him. Well, she already knew, suspected he was doing it, so she should have took her ass down there and then caught him herself without involving these other kids. And then, because they ain't never going to trust him. Nobody in the house is going to trust that Ricky. So I didn't like the dancer even snuggling up with him. That was his boyfriend. But his boyfriend said that was foul as hell. You know, you'll turn on any of us, save your place. So that was just strange. How am I doing? Am I reviewing Pose now? Lord have mercy. Okay, let's touch on Pose a little bit. Okay, the other thing. The girl with the pussy. What's her name? Elektra? Yeah, I think his name is Elektra. She had a sex change. She got herself a culo. I believe the right word is culo. Coochie. She got her coochie. Something she's wanted all her life. But she talked to this man before she got it. And she knew. He told her, without the culo, it's not going to work. I better stop saying culo. Culo might be a dick. I don't know. Without the pussy, without the dick, it's not going to work. These guys like trans women. They enjoy trans women. They probably suck, and they're doing something to those dicks. They're not just looking at them because they're there. They're doing something with them. But these people are some kind of in the middle of being gay. They like dick, but they want a woman wearing the dick kind of thing. But it's real. I know a lot of people. I used to get jealous of girls because I would have did a lot of these guys these tricks. I would have did them. I told you I lived in this hotel where all the girls live, right? Most of them working prostitutes. I said I would have did him free. I thought it was cute, but nope. They were not interested in me. They wanted a trans woman, and they were willing to pay for it. So when she wouldn't got herself a culo, she put herself in a precarious situation. Because now they may say she's beautiful, but Elektra is beautiful as a queen. That's what all the balls are. She's winning. It might become a time where next season, well, they tell her you can't even participate in the ball because you're not a trans. You're not trans. I mean, you're a woman. You're a woman. And as far as you being a beautiful woman, and you are competing with perfect skin, small bodies, all the things that make a woman a woman. When you go out into that world, at best you're mediocre. I never thought she was all that beautiful anyway, but he did. But he wanted them trans women. It wasn't going to work. I'm sure she was surprised that she was just a trick to him. He could so easily move her out and move somebody else in, and that's just what he did. When he felt down there and she had nothing but space down there, he asked her, "Oh, baby, did you tuck?" You want to see it. I'm a woman. Girl, you're not going to be among the high echelon of beautiful women. There are beautiful women. Now, when you're competing as a woman and you are a full woman, I don't know that you have all that greater position. As a queen, you are beautiful, top of the line, you know. Anyway, so she found out from him. He cut her off, took her name off the lease of the apartment they were sharing, and I guess just cut her off. Period. She was just done. And then she applied for another person. Another person answered an ad of hers. He came. He was just about to. I thought this. Here we go. I thought it was ridiculous that you're meeting a total stranger in a public place, and you're telling him that you want an apartment and you want it. I would think that a relationship was based on this person wanted to do this for you, like with that other child, Angel. He liked her, saw what he liked, and he wanted to help her out and set her up for his use. This guy just come off the street, and he agreed to give her an apartment, an allowance, stipend for clothing, pay for this other apartment, and all this shit. And she said, "Oh, I assume you want a private car as well. Just always be as beautiful as you are. And then sometimes I want you to pull it out and pee on me." Uh-oh. Well, women pee on men. Hell, I watch porn, honey. I know women can pee on men too. All you gotta do is squat. But he wants that dick. These guys like trans women. And people say, "Oh, why would you do that? You can get a real woman." No, honey. Most of the trans girls you meet, you will wonder, well, how in the hell are they all prostitutes? Because there are that many clients out there. There are a lot of clients out there, or they wouldn't do it. Anyway, so that was that. She got her coochie, and she ended up back doing, working in those things with the glass goes up where Angel was working. She was reduced to that. Her house turned their back on her, walked out on her, created their own house. That girl, Candy, and this other girl. They left immediately because the rent was due. They were being evicted. They had to wrap. I think they did a pretty good job of wrapping these storylines up. But as far as that scene where that guy is going to do all that shit for her if she had a dick to pee on him, I thought that was kind of silly. A total stranger? You never touched her or seen her titties or nothing? Maybe that happens in real life. I don't know, but it seemed rushed to me. But they wanted to make a point, and they made it. No one wants her because she is, first of all, she's advertising in transsexual, wherever she was advertising as a transsexual. Well, you're no longer a transsexual, you are a woman. So you have to go to the straight pages now, and you have to compete with all these beautiful women. Right? So she's back to doing, I guess that's how she met the first cop behind the glass. What else happened? I was not intending to talk about this show, but I did enjoy it so thoroughly last night. Okay, Poppy, he ended up going back with the fellas. Poppy was a good guy. He was an interesting person because he was heterosexual. He wasn't a hustler, I don't think. Maybe he did a little something on the side, but he was so comfortable with these girls because it's unusual for a straight guy, a straight drug dealer, to be living with all these queens, right? But he wanted to be a part of the house. He was just a street kid. That's what they had in common. When she threw him out unceremoniously, kicked him to the curb, took his shit, went over to where the drug dealers were. They were all upgrading to cocaine. That's where he's going to get in trouble. Because he's out there on the street on his own, he's going to need money. And his boss sells cocaine. And they have the whole organization. So that's where that's going. We're going to get that in the next season. They set it up where the last thing we see about Brother Poppy. Well, first, she tried to... oh, God. See, that's why I wasn't even planning on talking about Pose, but... First, Blanca realized that she had made a mistake. She overheard conversations of some of the other people. She talked to the dancer's instructor about taking care of these kids. And she came to the conclusion that she had made a mistake and she wanted him to come back. So she goes, she finds him. She said, okay, I don't think what I did was right. She invited him back to the house. He says, oh, no, I have new mothers. And they told him they're going to make him basically a slave. He can go get our groceries. He can go do this for us. Just bitches. So this is the way they're setting this up for the next season. Or maybe things are going to climax next week. I would definitely be watching that episode. Right? What else? Is there anything about this one? Oh, the other couple. Okay, so the girl, Angel. The boy had been thrown out of his house, right? So he the one who was paying for the apartment, I forgot his name. He was having a conversation. They were bored watching TV, and he said, I want to know more about you, or more about your life. Because this is all new to him. He's not been away from his family since he got married. So she takes him, he wants to go to a ball, and he insists on going to this ball. Well, the ball, it happened to be a fright night on that particular night. All the children were dressed up in this elaborate, what do you call it? I don't know, like Martians and aliens and all kind of strange ass things. And it was a bit overwhelming for him. But not only was it overwhelming because of the strangeness of this atmosphere, it wasn't a Halloween show, but the category was some kind of otherworldly thing. So this man said this is heavy, right? When he's trying to take it all in. And these girls, a couple of them hit on him. In other words, why don't you drop that bitch? You can come on, you take care of me. I guess they knew that he had this apartment for her and all this kind of stuff. They showed us an example, one of them who did that. The other ones hated him. What are you doing here? Remember, these are all minorities in this club. I don't think there's a white face in the damn thing. I think I saw one white girl walk that ball. But primarily, these are minorities, right? Black or Puerto Rican, from what I can tell. Yeah. Most of the Latin people in New York are Puerto Rican, as opposed to, like, here, most of them will be Mexican. They're Puerto Rican. So in this show, most people are Puerto Rican or black. He said this is too much. They hated him. He didn't fit in there. And he told her when they got time together, I will never fit into your life. You know, why he felt like he got to be down at their club, I don't know. But he said, I'll never fit in there. They don't want me. It's overwhelming for me. Well, it'd be overwhelming for me too. Shit, if I wasn't into it, why does he have to go there? He didn't lose his job. He still has his job. People in that particular Donald Trump, supposed to be Donald Trump company, they're like the that he's fought for his woman or whatever. I don't know. He still has a job. Between a job and fucking her, you would think his dance card would be full anyway. What do you got to go to that club for? So, next thing we see is he that moved out of the house and took everything out of the house. They're trying to show us that these girls, even though they think they're in love, for these guys who love queens, it seems like they're just a piece of ass. Because the relationship breakup, he takes all the furniture out, leaves her shit in a trash bag in the middle of the floor, and that's it. No more rent, no more nothing. So she's thrust back into their lives. I guess he goes back to his wife. Okay, now hit everything. Let me see. Elektra's in the, okay. This guy's in that. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just add one more little thing. When that girl was trying to get her pussy, not only did she take all the money that they hustled and spent it, she was also didn't pay the rent. They were 2 months behind. There was another couple of $2,000 or $3,000, right? And when the girls found out that, I don't know if they were paying her or not, but when they found out that they were being evicted, and she hadn't paid the rent in 2 months, she had put all this money into her pussy. She was left high and dry there as well. So they got plenty of stuff for next season. Well, I shouldn't say next season because we still have the finale next week. Okay, I wasn't planning on talking about Pose that much, but I want you guys to make sure you watch Miss Funky Dineva tonight on that Queen Supreme Court. Those girls like those numbers. If y'all can show her some Kaya and TS type numbers, then maybe we'll see them more. If it was me, and this girl doesn't live in Atlanta, I would make more than one show. I would just tape 2 or 3 shows. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it later.